Hey everybody, have you noticed the weather outside? It's warming up. Spring's approaching, and the first thing I think of when spring is approaching is planting a garden. Now lots of people don't plant gardens, but it's actually a very easy thing to do, and it can save you money. And who doesn't like fresh produce during the summer? Now the easiest crop to start with, I think, if you're going to begin planting a garden, is tomatoes. Tomatoes are easy to grow. The hardest thing about tomatoes is selecting which varieties to plant. I've planted tomatoes for several years now, and I've kind of found these good varieties that I like and that work for me. And I think to have the perfect tomato garden, you need to have varieties from 3 different categories. The first category would be heirloom varieties. Heirloom varieties are your oldest varieties. They come from 1800s and before. They're not bred to have lots and lots of tomatoes or the finest tomatoes. They're often not resistant to lots of the diseases we have now. They're pretty hard to grow, but their taste is unmatched. They were bred exclusively for their taste, and that is why they're so good. A good choice for an heirloom variety would be your Arkansas Traveler. The Arkansas Traveler is a good hardy variety, and it takes warm and hot weather very good. So it really fits into a good tomato garden. Other good varieties would be red brandywine and yellow brandywine. I like the yellow brandywine because it adds some color to your tomato harvest. The second area of plant tomato varieties would be your hardy proven producers. These are just going to produce lots and lots of tomatoes. They're often hybrids, crosses between 2 different lines. They're easy to grow. They require the least amount of care, and they're often resistant to lots of the common diseases we have around here. Good choices here would be your Better Boy, Big Boy, Beefsteak, solid, big, heavy tomatoes that are good for tomato sandwiches, that kind of thing, slicing. Another good variety would be your Early Girl. I like Early Girl because, as the name implies, it produces just a little bit earlier. So in a tomato garden, you're going to get tomatoes just a little bit early and then start before the others start coming in. Now the third complementing area of tomato varieties to fulfill the perfect tomato garden would be your Italian cannon varieties. These are like specialty tomatoes in my opinion. Their taste is very good, and they're good for cannon sauces, but also just for slicing and eating. The number one here, in my opinion, would be your Roma. Stands alone here. It has a good taste, and oftentimes your other varieties are just hybrids off of it. A good hybrid from it would be a Viva Italia, another good one, which is a hybrid of Roma. Now, if you're feeling a little bit overwhelmed here because of all these different plant varieties, and you're thinking, how am I going to get started? Actually, lots of these can be found at your local garden center, but those that aren't, I have a couple of websites that I like to use, burpees.com, gurneys.com. I would say you could find all of these varieties there, and I hope you'll take this to heart and you'll go and plant your tomato garden, and I can guarantee you, if you just give it a shot, that you will have a summer field with fresh tomatoes.